Hey guys, Christopher and Adventures in Off-Roading. Wanted to share with you guys today's project, which is the winch mount. We're cutting out the front cross member and creating a cross member mount for the new winch bumper. It's a pretty straightforward design. It took me about 6 or 8 hours of work total to do. That doesn't include wiring the winch up since I haven't done that yet. You won't be able to see the winches there, minus the fair lead. And I have a license plate cover that mounts right there to the fair lead. And it will be able to allow it to fold up and be as hidden as possible, since the truck's purpose is kind of look a little bit old school. Although if you start looking at it, you'll see some things just don't belong. I hope you enjoy this video, and give it a like, subscribe. Not the finest work, but you could make a box. All you have to have to make this box is a $250 half sheet of steel, a grinder with a couple of discs, and a $50,000 work table. But on a serious note, on this back end here, I don't quite have enough room underneath the Jeep to get this to sit on there all the way, but this bows out. So I'm actually gonna trim this here. Unfortunately, because of the steering box, now mind you, this is gonna be upside down, or rather it's upside down now. So the steering box is gonna sit right here. And with that steering box there, my winch is gonna be offset by, 4 or 5 inches probably. This is the center line of my, box, and you can see it's 3 inches off or so. So it's not going to be perfectly center. It's going to look slightly goofy in that regard. But for one, you won't be able to see the winch. You'll just be able to see the license plates off-centered. And when you look at the truck, I mean, it looks kind of lopsided anyway, so I think it'll probably be just fine. However, I am going to have to cut that cross member out, which I'm not terribly thrilled about. Now the good news is in the backyard I actually have another one of these frames, so I'm able to kind of test everything on that frame before I do any cutting. And I'm not cutting that frame either. Hopefully someone will buy it before I have to build it, but ideally we'll be able to sit the winch right up in there. Give me a few and I'll get to working on this back pocket so I can slide it all the way in there, and we'll start on the next project. You can see that we're much more online now with what we wanted to be. The front, let me see if I can't, there you go. It's a little bowed out. This is the center of the fixture, and then here's the center of the spool. So we're 2 inches off dead center, but it's tolerable. If I was a cool guy, I got the dimple dies, I don't have the shop press, but I could put some speed holes in there, but speed holes in 1/4 inch thick steel is asking much. So let's see where we sit on the frame. All right, I'm not gonna hammer that down, but you can tell that it fits pretty good. If you still have leaf springs, like a peasant, you'll have to do some trimming. I'll approach it with a friend of mine because I don't want to deal with customers, but I may go ahead and take this design public and make it to where you can do that and bolt it on. I am going to have to trim, pull this off. Oh. There we go. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the frame all the way from right here where this mount comes out. I'm going to cut the thing probably even with where it's welded right here. And then I will actually have to trim this back about 1 inch in order to make that work. But I'm willing to make these sacrifices. And then, because my winch is 21 inches, and from the outside of the steering gear to the outside of this identical fixture is somewhere in the ballpark of 20 inches. So I'm gonna have to trim at least 1 inch off of that. I'll probably just trim pretty deep in there. I don't think that's a real structural part, and hopefully this this fixture will be stronger than that. I saw it move. All right, this one's about 1/2 inch short on height, so that's easily correctable. We'll deal with that in a little bit after I eat it. So I'm breezing through this pretty quick. Felt pretty bad this morning, I had a migraine. So I'm probably, minus taking the front clip off, I'm probably about 2 or 3 hours into this now, making it up. From previous video patch, I had to trim a little bit more up there. And then I went ahead and made myself a access panel, not for that side per se, but rather for this side. So I still have a nice access to that bolt. If I think about it, maybe it's in a video I've already taken, this frame comes out straight and then it dips in. So I'm using this clamp up here to keep it level with the straight part at the top. And I'm just gonna have a gap on the inside here. I have about 3/8. This is 3/8 inch steel, and that may be close to a 1/2 inch of gap in between there. I'm okay with that. There's just one bolt hole I need in there. I really don't even need it. I could just drill and tap this, and I may very well do that. But I've marked out where it goes, because it's like a 7/16 coarse thread. No one even carries that in stock. I have to order it from online. But I did decide I'm going to go ahead and probably weld all this up to the frame. I was thinking about bolting it to the factory bolts, but if for some reason I start producing these, you shouldn't be cutting your frame if you don't know how to weld anyway. So it's not bad. I'll take a video here in a second once I get the winch back on there. You can see I missed a hole by a good bit. I couldn't find a single printout, and to be honest with you, I've never been good at measuring and then making sure my drill holes are on center. But we'll see what we got here in a second. Here we go. It's mounted. I think it's got just enough room to be able to pull. And then I should have the mount, so, oh, sorry. Just enough room that I can pull it out. I'll have the Haas sleeve somewhere in that ballpark. So that way it is having to bend down a little bit. I don't want to have to lose any strength at that. I'll get her finished welded and mounted, and we'll show you a video afterwards. Well, y'all, I got it welded up. I'm gonna take some time with the flap disc here, smooth it all out. I mean, the welds don't look that bad, but my splatter is just out of this world right now. Never had the issue with the welder, but I'm running off of a 110 outlet, and I've got about, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches of weld before I have to let the breaker stuff cool down. Well, guys, I'm buttoning up now. Still got a couple more holes to drill, but front hose back on. You can see I got a dangly, a little dingleberry down here. As we drop down and look at the bumper straight on, we can see I've got a little switch. I'll probably just keep that tucked up for safety's sake. I'm not sure I'm even going to run a cover over this skid plate. I mean, that'd be a smart option, but nobody cares about smart options. I've got to figure out where my holes are up here and push them through. And sadly, they're gonna be, it's gonna be like centered right here. And you can see there's a slight, like a crease somewhere about here. You can just see if I move just a little bit, where it catches on my hand. So it's gonna be a little offset, but you know, better offset than not at all. Thank you. Alright guys, this is the final section of the front bumper build. I've been working on this for a few weeks now, between the rear bumper and kind of getting sidetracked a little bit, waiting on parts. We have a surprisingly a rainy day in Albuquerque, so that's not something you see very often. I want to take a look at the front bumper real quick. You can see that it's not bolted on this side because I already removed that motor mount, and overall we'll be working on getting that done. So I got a sheet of steel here. This is the mount that I made a while back to get it situated. And then this is going to be the side plate for the mount that I'm making now. And you guys just going to watch the process. I'm going to speed through this pretty quick and see if I can't keep this video under 20 or 30 minutes, since it is it includes a front bumper mount that's not native to the vehicle and the winch mount. saw me use a clamp to hold those together. That will give you a nice symmetrical or identical fitting. Welder real quick. Boom. This is the older model. The new models come with a 2 tank capacity. But the downside with the Eastwood welders is while they are 110 and 220, I've noticed a massive increase of splatter when welding anything more than I'd say 18 to 20 amps, volts. But with that said, I use a pick-me-up. I like to go to Dollar General to get these, although my wife picked these last ones up, so I have no idea where she got this thing. This one's butter flavored, so it smells like popcorn whenever you're welding. And this is just going to keep the splatter down. Boom. It'll be wiped off. I welded it to the table. The main thing I'm wanting is I want to make sure that it sits flat, and it does. And I got some splatter on this other side, so it's not going to sit as flat. Got the first one made. A little bit of movie magic. Second one's made. Pretty simple design. Not the prettiest thing out there in the world. But we need to make sure that they fit first. And then we still have some support mounts to make. Oh man, there we go, haha. So we got another support mount to make after I put these on there, make sure they work, and we'll see how we get there. What I got to do still Yeah, let's see if I can get the camera. All right, so this hole right here, stick my finger in it, needs to be supported. Typically it's supported off the frame here. Then I'll probably do this something like that. Other than that, it doesn't have any supports, just those 4 bolts from the front. Those here and here. So I need to make a cross bracket that connects there. Good news is I'll probably be able to get a factory one, which is going to take me probably a few weeks to do. The last thing I got, and it will be relatively painless, is I have the winch controller, and I'm actually going to mount that winch controller right back behind here, so that way you can't see it. I'll still have easy access to plug into it, but I'm gonna call this a wrap video wise. Once I get those other brackets in, I may throw a short up on the channel, and same with the winch controller, but this is one of the videos I want to get out in the next couple 3 weeks, and I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I appreciate you staying with me, and I hope you have a good day and stay adventurous. All right, guys, thanks for sticking all the way through that. We have completed the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said earlier, like, subscribe, share. If you want more content like this, the next video is most likely going to be all new lenses, and I bought a nice big bag of parts from BJ's Off-Road, and it should be here in a couple days. We'll be throwing, I don't know, 15 or 20 little small pieces at this. It just freshens it up a little bit. So see you then, and stay adventurous.